Former National MP Nikki Kaye, diagnosed with breast cancer in 2016, died at the weekend, aged 44 years old. Her friend and former boss, Sir John Key, told the Herald he spoke with Nikki just a few weeks ago.
You know, New Zealand has been robbed of just such an outstanding and wonderful person, far too young. Nikki was probably one of the most passionate, intense and dedicated people I've ever met.
It was 2013 when Nikki Kaye was elevated to cabinet by John Key, who was then Prime Minister.
And even right until the end, she was incredibly positive about her life, the things she'd achieved, very much at peace with what was happening. She described herself as quite a spiritual person, that she felt very comfortable with the way life had worked out. I mean, obviously, like anyone, would have wanted a lot more time.
Nikki Kaye eventually became deputy leader of the National Party and left politics in mid-2020, spending much of her time overseas and on Great Barrier Island. She detailed her passion for the island in an interview with the Herald in 2022.
You know, one of the reasons why I chose to bow out is that, you know, obviously I'd had the diagnosis, but also that it's just never been perfect. I'm loving the amount of time that I can run and walk and swim, and so the Barrier is a pretty incredible place to be able to do that. And yeah, I love being active. The Barrier is heaven on earth.
After being diagnosed with cancer in 2016, Nikki Kaye sought oncology expertise both in New Zealand and in the United States.
And I think the combination of those two really gave her, I think, a decade, and probably a lot longer than she might have had, because initially at the time, while she publicly said she had breast cancer, she was privately saying to me that it was much more significant and had morphed into other parts of her body. And so, you know, the diagnosis initially was pretty dire. And I remember when she had her 40th, we went along in Wellington, and I think at the time she got up and said that they gave her quite a low probability of actually getting to 40.
Ex-National leader Todd Muller said Nikki had a beautiful soul and a deeply caring heart fueled by a ferocious energy to serve her party, community and country, often at the expense of her own health. And Prime Minister Chris Luxon said Nikki's contribution to the National Party was significant. Her tireless dedication, sharp intellect and tenacity earned her the respect of people across the political spectrum. She was a remarkable person and a crusader for what she believed in, and her contribution has left our country in a better place. Those who sat across the aisle from Nikki Kaye are also paying their respects. Labour leader Chris Hipkins told Newstalk ZB the news of her passing was a shock.
Really sad news, actually. I just heard about Nikki Kaye as I was coming into the studio this morning, and Nikki and I both arrived at Parliament at the same time. We had a lot of common interests. I think you could probably say we were frenemies for the time that we were in Parliament. You know, opponents, but we actually got on well together.
Kaye was Minister of Education under Sir Bill English, and Hipkins succeeded her in that role when Labour took power in 2017. She'd served as an MP for Auckland Central since 2008, securing the seat for National for the first time ever at the age of 28. Twice she beat Labour's then rising star Jacinda Ardern to hold the seat. She reflected on that achievement in her valedictory speech.
Winning the seat and becoming the first National Auckland Central MP in our country's history was one of the best nights of my life, but also challenging in breaking up with my boyfriend of 5 years. In that week, I learned that not everybody wants to be the spouse of an MP, but also that the life of a good MP comes with duty, responsibility, and extraordinary sacrifice. It is the toughest moments of my personal life that have helped me be able to be a better Member of Parliament and Cabinet Minister. Through my parents breaking up young, a stepbrother being charged with murder, being diagnosed with breast cancer at 36, I have learned when your world breaks and shatters, you can be your most powerful.